Alright, we're back to take a look around the league here in the new episode, but really the second part of the last episode. So I think we'll still get to 15 minutes. We'll get close, but it may not be 15. One thing I did want to take a look at is the budget. So we were in the negative. We looked at this on stream, and I was in the negative. So we're talking about trade options. It's kind of hard. We don't have salary. Part of it is pool holes. We end up giving up more money, but because we're playing bad, the budget went down, but now we're back in the green by almost $1 million. Kind of nice. Remember, we couldn't fire a coach, so we still may look to boost that, but this is what the budget is looking at right now. Not too bad. New sponsorships, maybe because we can put up runs with hitting being a little bit easier, that'll help. We'll see as time goes on. Kind of keep tabs on that. Gonna need to, because I have a feeling we're gonna have to make some moves at the deadline. But this is what it's looking like right now. Haven't looked at this screen yet, so thought I'd like to kind of share that with you before we start looking around the league. So without further ado, let's do that, shall we? Another action around the league. Let's take a look at what would normally be an interesting matchup due to DH, but since there is, for lack of DH, would it be in a National League team, but since it's a universal DH, this franchise, you see Philadelphia 3-2 win over Boston. 8 total kits. I mean, league average is a little bit above 8, so probably this is one of those games. I'm kind of curious. I may have to take a look collectively around the league to see how hitting is, especially with me dropping in difficulty, seeing the numbers that are put out. But that said, you can see Boston, Bobby Dahlback, 2-run home run. That was their offense in the 4th. Harper, a 2-run double, and then you add in an RBI late in the 8th by McCutcheon to give them the win. 2 errors. Chris Sale, great game. 2 earned runs, 7 innings, only 4 hits allowed, 9 strikeouts. So just like IRL, strikeouts are the name of the game. 9 apiece for each pitching staff. But ultimately, it was Walden that gave up the late run, and that would be the difference in this game. As Boston takes the L, drops to 21-25. Philly gets back to 500. In a little bit of a break, we're going to take from what we normally do. We're going to take a look at a couple of other teams here. Look at how things are going statistically for them. Looking at first Boston, you can see Xander is having a great year so far. Through 46 played games, 57 hits, 9 home runs, 30 runs batted in. That average, pretty nice. A couple of guys are batting above 300, more than a couple. JD, of course. This is a benefit for having DH, because he can play DH if need be. Bobby, nice to see this guy, young kid. 7 home runs, 24 runs batted in, batting 305. You can see the attributes up in the upper right corner, that power. Got the nice fielding rating.
Oh, yes.
And he is producing at the plate, all that you can ask. Looking at the pitching side of things, Chris Sale, nice to see him healthy, obviously, because it's Sim. And, I have him on the roster and take him out for the year. But man, 2.78 ERA, 1.2, 22 for the whip. Just what you expect from this guy. Just what you expect. I'm sure it's a big reason why this team has a better record than what they probably would be expected to have. He's a gamer. He just comes in and gets stuff done. Looking at the relief pitchers, it's a little bit of a struggle for them. You can see the whip. You got Josh Taylor, ERA is low, good whip. Same with Hernandez. Some of the other guys are struggling. You like to see your closer with a lower ERA, but man, gets the job done. Well, I guess not closer. Ottavino's a closer. 11 saves, 5.4 ERA. Don't want to see that. Curious how many blown saves he has. None, really. That's a surprise. With the ERA that high, you just would assume that his ERA would be, or with the ERA that high, that his saves would be worse. 11 of 11, I guess. Not bad. And we'll take a look at one more before we dive into stats and answering some other things. The Mets get a win on the road. The Marlins 25-20 after the loss. Still great record for them given what their expectations might have been coming in. You can see Jose Martinez, 2 hits, 2 runs batted in. I'm assuming that's a 2-run run. And Pete Alonso drives in the other run. There's your offense for the Mets. Going down, looking at the Marlins. Or actually, no, that's not the offense. There's 2 more runs batted in. Davis. He was quite the annoyance facing them. McNeil was stolen base. Nice to see that. Looking at the Marlins, they were the ones that put up 3. And that all comes from Marte. He had all 3 of the runs batted in. He had 3 hits as well, too. So even though he's batting .214, kind of nice to see him have a good game. Duvall, quiet game in the cleanup spot. 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts. A lot of strikeouts, as a matter of fact. 14 total. Carlos Carrasco, 8. Former Indian. Doing work, and Betanzas coming in relief with 3. I mean, that's crazy. Think about that. 2 2/3 inning Betanzas. Strikes out 3. Lugo strikes out the side for the save. And looking at Miami, Diekman, newly acquired, as a matter of fact, traded him for Miguel Rojas. Looked at that and saw that in the transactions. Diekman coming in, does his job. Can't really be upset about that. But unfortunately, Hoyt couldn't get the job done first. So Miami takes a loss. Hopefully Diekman will be something that will help their bullpen going forward as they try to push for a playoff spot. We'll also head to the American League West. And you can see here the Angels get to 500. They close within a game of the A's. 7-5. 11 hits total for the Angels in this one. Going down and looking at their lineup. Rendon, the big one. Rendon has been, as crazy as it may sound, knowing that you have Mike Trout on the team, Rendon has really been the guy that's stirred the stick for them. 3 hits, though Trout did have 2 and scored twice. 4 runs batted in for Rendon. Dude has just been on a tear, and it makes for a nice 1-2 punch with them in the lineup. Fowler, I may even look at him too. He's batting .266. He did have 2 home runs in the game. I believe it was during the Padres series. Saw it on the ticker. Not bad. Ultimately, really, you can look at it as a Pujols for Fowler trade, and they've won it. They've won it so far, I must say. Ohtani. This is a rough one at Ohtani because he does not bat in the game, as we've kind of talked about on stream on Friday night. He doesn't bat. So it makes it awkward because he's just a pitcher, not a true 2-way player like he is. And he has definitely struggled on the mound. You can see his ERA is above 8. 4 runs. But Quintana comes in and kind of holds the fort down a little bit. Iglesias with the save. That is something that the Angels have struggled with in the past. But hey, it seems that they've got it right. So maybe they're on to better things. Looking at the American League East, we got a division matchup with the Rays and the Blue Jays, and the Blue Jays get the win at home 4-1. You can see Meadows and Lowe combined for 4 hits, both with a multi-hit game, and that is more than half of their runs. Lowe to drive in 1, their lone run of the game. And you can see Toronto. We're going to take a look at Vlad Jr. He was requested with the channel points, the salt points, so we'll take a look at him. Multi-hit game for him as well. Run batted in. Gurriel, 2 hits, 2 runs batted in, but look at Vlad batting .341. Only one on the team with an average above 280, so nice to see. As they get the win, you can see Yarbrough, not a terrible game. 2 runs, over 5 2/3, but just not really any run support for him in this one. Thornton gets the win, 1 run over 6. The bullpen does its job. Yates, his 10th save of the year, healthy in the game, not IRL, but he comes through and pitches very nicely. Then we're going to head to New York, to the Bronx. Hosting the White Sox, and in the second, 2 outs. Moncada, 3-run home run. And the White Sox jump out early. And let me tell you, they were not done in this one. But I'll be nice. I'll spare the Yankee fans. Kind of had a rough start to the season. Smoothing out now. But yeah, 10-0. Garcia hit a grand slam. Robert hit a home run, just beating the hell out of the Yankees. But Stan would hit a grand slam, cut the lead almost in half, from 10-6, just like that. So the only negative about this, now you're happy to take the 4 runs all at once, but it's nice in a situation to have the base runners on because it continues to put the pressure on the pitcher to make pitches. You cleared the deck, so also you get a little bit of a reset of the mind. But Chicago wins 10-4. Rodon gets the dub. Garcia knocked out early. LeMahieu did have 2 hits as well as Stanton. Like I said, the home runs by Chicago really did them in. Now we're going to move to Texas. So you're thinking, man, bases loaded, 3-1, got to make a pitch, right? Houston's about to go up 4-1. Nope. Walk. Surprised you on that one. So Gibson walks in the tying run, and I can tell you, Houston definitely took the lead in this inning, so they took advantage. Bases loaded with no outs. But later on in the 5th, Bregman up to bat, 4-1, 6-1. Bregman hits his 9th of the year, having a great season so far. Batting .317, 9 home runs, 22 runs batted in, doing work. Ups the lead to 5, and as you can imagine, Houston would hold on. 7-3 win. James gets the win for the Astros. Gibson takes the loss. He's actually doing pretty good for me in fantasy, so thanks, Kyle. But rough one for him in this one. But let's segue to a question that we had a viewer have. And we do have a potential trade, or at least asking of one, an acquisition for Will Myers. This is asked by Won't Be Famous, asking, with the lack of production from the outfield, is it possible that we look to acquire Will Myers to get a stable bat that can produce runs? So this is going to likely be a no, and here's why. Now, granted, he is, you can see here looking, he has 22 runs batted in for San Diego, which is not going to be first, it's going to be 4th. Not saying something given with the bats that they have, but if we go to St. Louis, you can see 22. Lead their team. I'm sorry, it doesn't lead the team. Park has more. That's it. It would be second on our team. But the reason why is because the guys that we have there. So if you remember right, last year we acquired him. Won't Be Famous used the salt points in order to get us to acquire him for Carlos Martinez. So there's going to be 2 reasons why we would not be able to get him. And the hope is that one of the reasons will be a blessing in disguise. So Myers, great attributes. He has great power. He's got good contact vision. But he can still produce. We know he can. And he has a secondary of 1st and 3rd. Now, 1st won't matter because we have Goldie. 3rd won't matter because we have Nolan. It'll be a little bit different. Remember last year, Carp got injured, and that opened up a spot for him to play. He and Kyle Seager were platoon at the 3rd base spot, occasionally with him being moved to the outfield to give one of those guys a day off. I don't have that luxury with this team, and DH, we know Pujols pretty much is grounded in that spot. The other thing is his contract. He makes a lot of money, and he'd be owed a lot of money next year. Because of this, there really is only one thing that we'd be able to do to get him. And let me go look at the budget so I can show you. We'd have to, whoops, messed it up. We'd have to match salary. Miles Michaels, Miller and someone, or Miles. That's it. If we get rid of Miles, that's it. We're not making any other acquisitions that really can help this team unless it is a really cheap dude that we are taking the flyer on. We would not be able to get known production unless we give up either one or both. Miller likely doesn't go anywhere. He's my best lefty. I feel so comfortable pitching with him. It's hard to see not using him. You can see his ERA is .95. Miles, well, he finally got his first win. I mean, it took almost a perfect game to do it. but still, he has pitched well. His ERA is 3.07, just doesn't have a win, 5 losses, and that's not his fault. That's the fault of our team for not being able to produce runs. So why Will Myers would be a nice addition and add stability, it's not a move that we really can make because it takes away roster flexibility for the remainder of the season and also next season too, because he still has another year on his contract. And the other thing is he's a right-handed bat. If he was a lefty bat, I might be a little more inclined to do it. We have so many so many righties in this lineup. You have 2 switch hitters in Edman and Carlson, and Carp's a lefty. That's it. Justin Williams, there's no way that I'm gonna, be using him on a regular basis. We don't have anyone else. The one guy we do have is Nolan Gorman, and which something I did not show anyone here, is he's injured. He has a torn hamstring. He's gonna be out for 2 months, so I can't even look to call him up, potentially hoping that he can give us a spark. We got nothing. So I'm gonna need a lefty bat. Myers doesn't fit that need. It is what it is. But we will be looking still to acquire a bat, just not right now. Let's see what we can do. A little bit longer, but that will do it for this video. Keep this short. We have a 3-game series tonight against the Cubs. Waino against Mills, Ponce de Leon against Trevor Williams, and our number 1 Flaherty against the Professor on an MLB Network game that Sunday. Make sure you sub to the YouTube channel so you're notified when the next episode drops. I appreciate all of you taking the time to watch this. I will see you at 6:30. 6:30, not 6. 6:30 because I'm not feeling well. I assume tomorrow I will not too. And we will need a nap. I will need a nap at some point in order to have the energy and be boosted, rejuvenated enough to stream. So we'll get all 3 games done, not worried about it, and we'll start to look at ranked seasons soon. But we'll talk about that on the flip side. Take care, see you later. Also, today is Sunday, or tomorrow. You're listening to this on Sunday. If you have not told your mom Happy Mother's Day, tell her. Text her, call her, see her in person. Any or all of the above. Take care.